Tell us your names and majors.
So I'm Kalpana and I'm double majoring in business management and hospitality. Yeah.
And I'm Libby. I'm majoring in actuarial science.
Cool. Do you want to tell us about your poster?
Sure.
Well, we're going to talk about sewage water and how it gets recycled, and it's not really as wasteful as you might think it is. We use all parts of it over again. The first thing to talk about would be the treatment process that the water goes through. The first step, of course, is taking it out of your homes and out of buildings and such, and it gets taken to the treatment plants where it goes through a screening process and large impurities get removed. So anything that's over 13 millimeters gets taken out, and generally things that they take out are like cotton balls and things like that. Things that you just flush out of your toilet just because it's just what you do. And after the screening process, it goes to the primary treatment where the sludge and stuff gets settled to the bottom, and the water that's on its way to being purified flows over the top and flows into the secondary treatment process where it gets introduced to, where good bacteria gets introduced to it, and the good bacteria thrives in these conditions, and it starts eating away at the nasty bugs and the other smaller impurities. And after that, it goes to the final treatment process where the good bacteria gets taken out and recycled back into the secondary treatment process, and the water is almost purified at that point. It then gets, depending on what ecosystem it's going back into, they'll introduce like chlorine or fluoride into the water to be able to safely send it back into rivers and oceans where it gets reused. And the back from the primary treatment, the sludge that gets settled to the bottom, it doesn't just get thrown away or put in landfills. We recycle and reuse that too. So like up here, it gets used for many different things. The most common thing that it's used for is fertilizer and like agriculture and such. Here it's talking about how it gets reused for basically in place of like cow manure and such, and they use it to grow gardens and things like that. They also use it in forests and stuff. There's also a difference between the like just regular forests that grow on their own and forests that are grown with biosolids. The trees are actually like bigger and the trunks are thicker, and it produces more wood, which then helps as you don't have to cut down as many trees. It can also be used for composting in gardens and things like that, and for fuel. And usually the fuel gets used for like heating and things like that.
Yeah, and so in Georgia we're very lucky to have a really good waste treatment plant. But in other parts of the world, unfortunately, 2.6 billion people lacked basic sanitation in 2010. But opportunities for wastewater are continuously growing. For example, in the Middle East and North Africa, a lot of wastewater is used for agricultural irrigation, and that's really helpful because all the wastewater is going back into plants, and then it's helped to grow them or for anything agricultural. In Georgia, we have about 1.5 million on-site sewage waste management systems, and they're pretty old, so they're like about 30 years old, so they require like annual upkeep. And Georgia's pretty strict about this. There's 16 separate health districts that are managing the treatment plants, and they have certain like they have inspections, and they have like certain permissions that you have to have to maintain a sewage plant. Also, there has to be like a specific amount, like there has to be a size for a lot that you have to use. The Chattahoochee waste treatment plant supplies water to basically Northside and Adamsville. Also, like most of the water is transferred to Buckhead and South Fulton County. So basically, this whole Atlanta area, and it's one of the biggest ones that's operated 24/7, and it has a capacity of about 65 MGD. And the dewatered solutions are basically thrown into landfills. And it has 4 finished water pumps that send water to the distribution system. So Georgia has a lot of waste treatment going on.
Cool, cool. Any key points you took away from this? Something you learned you didn't know before?
For me, I didn't realize that we reused so much of it. I wasn't really sure where it went. I never really questioned it, but it was really interesting researching like what all every part gets used for.
Yeah, and I learned that like about 99.8% water is considered sewage water, and it all goes through this treatment process. So the amount of work that goes into these plants is massive, and it's bigger in the rest of the world. In Europe, it's huge. Like in Holland, it has one of the biggest waste treatment plants.
Good job, guys.
All right, thank you.